What is going on, YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I am bringing you a match that I had at the locals at Advantage Games the other day. This is going to be between D-Brigade, which will be piloted by myself on the right, versus my opponent piloting AncientGarurumon on the left. So getting into it, we see a couple Gomamons coming out on board, putting me to 3, which is really good because here I can play the 3-drop rare Commandramon, going down to 0, still able to play something else, and then I have the 2-drop Commandramon to put my opponent at very minimal memory while developing a bunch of rookies on board, starting to put a lot of pressure on. These Ancient Garuru decks usually only have the Sealamons as their blockers, so they don't have as much defensive of a backbone. So if I can start getting these rookies to go in and start playing a rookie rush style, then I can get a lot of advantage just by getting early checks, especially with this on deletion Commandramon. If it hits, but we reveal, we see we actually hit 3 Commandramon there. Grabbing the 5k DP Commandramon there, just because it's the bulkiest Digimon that you can get out there. You want some good bulk, so that way you can at least, if you swing, you can at least trade into their Sealamons, and you have a better chance surviving in checks, which means you could potentially get more check going forward. But then we get another rare on deletion Commandramon on board, which is going to allow us to potentially cycle more, but we're going to see our opponent go into Ancient Garuru, and I'm not too worried about them swinging into this deck, just because this does have security triggers, so I could hit something that could be really influential. As we see, I hit the Zwart Defeat that comes out, so now I have this Zwart Defeat coming out for free, and I have 5 checks to their 4 security. So with what's happening right now, I technically have a potential lethal on board, and we see my opponent Digivolve into the Lobomon and play the other Lobomon. Putting me to 2 is going to be very unfortunate for them, because if I hit Hammer Spark, it will still be my turn. So I'm going to hit the Sealamon. We're going to get the 2k Commander, or the 2-drop Commandramon, and then we're just going to swing in. We do see there that we hit the Hammer Spark, but since we have the 2 memory, our turn still goes, and then we just swing in for game. So like I said, the early rush there was going to be pretty key, and then once we hit that Zwart Defeat to get that extra Digimon on board, we just had too much pressure for them to handle. But going into game 2, my opponent's going to go first and just Digivolve into the Promo Lobo in Raising, so don't have to worry about them warping. And I just go into Izzy. I want to get my Memory Tamer going, but it's also very important to see what's at the top of my deck, so I can rearrange and play around what I want to draw or what I want to Digivolve into. So getting an Izzy out pretty early for relatively cheap, because I got to put my opponent at 1. It's not too bad. My opponent responds with the Davis, so they just put me at the 3 that I would be at. I'm going to Digivolve into the Gogmamon, putting my opponent to 3. I just want to build up in Raising, so that way I can try to get into one of my level 6s. Opponent's going to have to build up on top of this Lobo. They do have the Inheritable, so they can play the Ancient Garuru for cheaper at least. But going into the promo War Garuru, and they decide to swing, and it does live. So with this suspended, I do have the opportunity to potentially swing over it if they don't Digivolve here, because I have the Gagamon, which just naturally is stronger, and I do have many Digibursts that I could use to buff it up if they did Digivolve. So I'm going to go ahead and promote the Gagamon here, and I will decide to swing over the Garuru 7k to 6k, which will delete it, and then I can go play the Commandramon here, and then Digivolve into the Crest Garuru. I'll reveal the top. I hit the Darkdramon, but I do get Reboot and Unsuspend, so I don't have to worry about my Gagamon potentially getting swung over. And although whiffing off the Crest Garuru ability is unfortunate, having this on board and being able to threaten to go into Zwart or Zwart Defeat is going to be really influential in this matchup, especially if I delete their Davis and make it so I can start choking them on memory. My opponent's going to warp up to Ancient Garuru, which isn't making me feel too bad yet, because I still do have 4 security checks, so I can potentially get some Zwart Defeats or some Garurumons to come out. We're going to hit the Izzy, so I'm going to reveal the top 3. They are all 3 black cards, so I will gain a memory. My opponent was at 1 memory, which is unfortunate, because being able to end their turn there would have been really, really good. But at least now my opponent can't do anything like Digivolve on their Elecmon without ending their turn, without having to commit the Hammer Spark. But we are just going to see the Breath come out and bounce the Crest back into my hand. And I go to 7, but then there is the on deletion of the Gomamon to gain +1, so I'll be at 6 memory. Commandramon is going to come out. Think about which Commandramon I want to play between the 5k and the blocker. Just looking at my hand, seeing if I want to Digivolve on top of it or not. And so I grab the 5k as just a chunkier Digimon, and then play the Garurumon and Digivolve the Andromon on top of it, putting my opponent to 3. I didn't want to Digivolve on top of my Commandramon there. I had enough memory to just play the Garurumon. I was thinking about just hard playing the Andromon there, but I wanted to Digivolve and get some cycling, because my hand isn't looking as amazing, and I am getting a little bit lower on security. And as you see, I missed a rookie there. So my offensive pressure is extremely mild compared to what it looked like game 1, and especially with my AncientGarurumon gone, I don't really have any influential swings, because being able to swing with the AncientGaruru and then reboot would be nice because it's an offensive play while still having the defensive measures of the reboot. So I could go into AncientGarurumon again. I know it's in hand because they breathed it back, but that would just be a little bit of a waste of memory, and I want to slow down the game, so I decided to go with Ultimate Flare. It's been in my hand for a while, and I'm not sure when I'm going to use it, just because their top end is usually Ancient Garuru, which they warp to, which will die at the end of the turn, as from what we've seen so far. And the Ultimate Flare does clear it up there. It makes it so my opponent just has the rookie to my Commandramon and my ultimate. I do give them a bit of memory, but with so little resources on board, I don't feel there's too much they could do about it. So the Ultimate Flare felt like that was going to be one of the better turns that I could use it and get it out of my hand. Like I said, I could have went into Crest there, but then my opponent had the opportunity to go into Ancient Garuru and not have the on deletion effect. And unless I hit an Ultimate Flare in security, then that would just be game with the multiple swings. So I had to go with the Ultimate Flare there, slow down the game, try to get something going, but my opponent's noticing that I'm not really hitting any champions, and that I had to play the champion and then Digivolve into the ultimate. So he's banking on that, went into the Kakaitis Breath to bounce it back, but I did have the Dark Tyranno, so I could Digivolve. Here I am going to decide to go into the Crest because my opponent's going to go to 3 anyway, and I can reveal the top 2 and play the Garurumon for free. That helps a little bit getting something on board. It's better than getting a Commandramon most of the time because you can Digivolve a champion or an ultimate into it, but I would have really preferred to hit something better than the Garurumon there. And my opponent's going to just warp up into Ancient Garuru here, and unless I hit this Ultimate Flare like before, then the game's just going to end. And they hit the Zwart, but it's too late because the Goblimon just swings in and takes game 2. So going into game 3, I have my opponent go first because I've been going second a lot with this deck and I've been finding more success with it. Yes, we saw that the Rookie Rush variant in game 1 is going to be useful, but without looking at my hand, I don't know if I'm going to draw into a bunch of Commandramon like I did game 1. And without doing that, then going second is a little bit better, so that way I have more memory to build up. Like as we saw, my opponent did just play the Garurumon, and I went ahead and played the Sealsdramon to put my opponent at 1. I didn't have a Commandramon filled hand, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to go second, and therefore I couldn't just spam out a bunch of Commandramons with that memory, so I put my opponent at 1 with the Sealsdramon, so that way I get a champion on board. I can threaten to go up into an ultimate with it, and instead of swinging with my Commandramon here, I actually decide to Izzy, so that way I can set it up so that my Commandramon definitely hits. As we saw with the Izzy there, I would have hit a Commandramon with the cards, but it wasn't guaranteed. But now I can safely swing in the Commandramon and cycle to get out the free Commandramon. I was about to play Commandramon, but I decided to swing so that way I don't mess up and accidentally draw my Commandramon. So we're going to recycle it with the on deletion Commandramon, and then play another one. And then this is where the playing the champion last turn is going to be important, because I am able to now Digivolve into the Gogmamon and Digiburst 1 to put it to 9k, and then I can swing over the Beowulf because it doesn't have a hybrid underneath it. And then just play a 2-drop Commandramon, putting my opponent at 1, and now I'm looking at a really good spot. They aren't going to be able to attack over my Gogmamon without a couple Hammer Sparks to Digivolve, and so we're going to actually see them play Supreme Cannon to bounce my 2 Commandramons back into my hand. But my opponent not having a Memory Tamer is going to be very important for the next couple interactions, because as we're going to see, I'm going to drop 2 2-drop Commandramons to put my opponent at 1, and then my opponent's going to respond with a second Supreme Cannon, bouncing my Commandramons back into my hand, putting me at 3, and then I basically just play all 3 again. I put an on deletion in the raising, and then drop the 2 1-drop Commandramons, putting my opponent to 1 again. So although we had these 2 turns where they Supreme Cannon back to my hand, we are in a very similar board state while they're just down 2 Supreme Cannons. And it did slow down the game, but like I said, it didn't really change anything. We're going to swing the Commandramon. I have the boost with the Sumamon, but it doesn't matter. I do get to play another 2-drop Commandramon. We are going to start attacking. That one dies. The Gogmamon goes in, and then I am going to go ahead and just play the Darkdramon. I have the 5 D-Brigades in hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Put those to the top of the deck, swing with Rush, and that is game. And so that was a really fun match. I hope you all enjoyed. I always love playing D-Brigade, so I had to break it out for this local and get a few matches. So we'll have some more D-Brigade stuff coming. But with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see some more content, because I'm going to be uploading daily. But I hope you have a great day. Peace out.